Well, very impressed with the Southern Miss football team. Those guys were big and fast. As much team speed as we've played against here since I've been here. And it was evident that their coaching staff had really been on them since their loss to Marshall the week before, and we thought that may happen. But with 2 minutes to go in the game, it's 14-6, and we're still in it. Should have been 7-6. That first pass interference call was kind of a mystery call on a 3rd and 9. About to make a punt, led to their first touchdown. But there we are, 14-6. They changed personnel groupings on us, went with a 2 tight end formation, and hit us with 3 consecutive 20-yard runs, and scored a touchdown to make it 21. And then we're driving with a chance to get down, possibly kick a field goal right before, so 8 seconds left. We throw an interception that deflects off one of our players' hands, and they run back for a touchdown. So instead of 14-6 or 21-9, it's 28-6 going into half, and basically at that time, with that kind of crowd, and it's tough to get yourself back into that football game. So it was a good experience for our players. It will help prepare us for road games in the conference with those kind of fans right behind your bench on top of you, and the crowd noise and that kind of thing. So it'll help prepare us, especially for this week coming up against McNeese. Watching McNeese, you know, they've played Kansas and they've played Sioux Falls, so kind of difficult to assess some of their positions. We know that their running back core is very, very strong. Different types of running backs than what we faced last week. Last week we were facing those 220-pounders that were very, very physical. This week they're in that 5'7" to 5'9" range, 185 pounds, very, very quick. Got to do a better job of tackling, much better job. Their receiver core, they added a transfer from North Texas. I believe his name is Carey, number 16, that is very fast, and we're going to have to get him surrounded. They're utilizing 85 Briscoe as a split end into the boundary. I think he's got 6 catches, and all 6 are on vertical deep balls. So we've got to do a good job covering him deep. Defensively, you know, normal for McNeese. They're very good up front. They run well at linebacker, and they've got very good defensive backs, especially Bronson at free safety, that can they can lock you down in man coverage and bring a lot of pressure on your quarterback. So we're going to have a good week of practice. We're going to have to and we got a lot of guys who have never played a Southland Conference football game. We've got to try to get those guys to understand that the tempo, the pressure, everything that goes along with conference games is going to increase this week, and going to play in the toughest place in the league to play in Lake Charles. So we've got to have a good week of practice. We've got to have a good trip. And first time we'll be staying in a hotel with this team. A lot of young guys having to learn how to eat in a different place, sleep in a different place, and get ready for a ball game on the road. Questions?
The penalty number kind of jumps out of that. That's something that I know you fought over the off-season and all. Is there any explanation for why this showed up this week and not before, or I mean, how do you look at that?
We had 13 penalties. 3 of them were on defense. 1 was on special teams. The 3 that were on defense, 1 was an offsides penalty. 1 was a mystery pass interference, and then one was on a double move by a receiver where the corner was beat, and he reached out and grabbed, which is the right thing to do. Don't give up a touchdown. We'd rather give up 15 yards than give up a touchdown, so that was not a bad penalty. The other 9 penalties were all procedure penalties that were, their fans were coached up really well when to be loud when we're at the line of scrimmage, and they were penalties because we couldn't hear the cadence, and I believe 7 of them were on the same player. That he's out there at tackle trying to block that speed rushing defensive end that might have been their best player, and he kept twitching as we're going with a silent count, and he's looking at that defensive end and trying to feel the ball being snapped, and it's tough. So I think a lot of it had to do with the surroundings and the crowd noise.
You feel better about that than you did last year anyway? I mean,
Yeah.
You're not concerned about that.
No, usually you come in, you're not happy with 13 penalties at all, but it's a different cause effect. You know, we've got to be able to handle that kind of crowd noise. We may in the hole this week, it may be. I doubt if it'll be as loud as it was at the Rock, but it'll be loud, and you know, we've got to address that. But we've played in loud McNeese games before and had no problem hearing the quarterback. In Hattiesburg, we couldn't hear the quarterback, so we had to go with a silent count, and that's when we were jumping.
Did you guys do anything in practice this week to kind of simulate, you know, crowd noise and things like that?
We did last week. Didn't help very much. No, we won't do it this week.
Just talk about the absence of Zeke Jones and how it affected us run games past week.
Well, Zeke had a staph infection in his finger, and his finger was severely swollen to the point where he couldn't bend his finger. It was in a lot of pain, and you know, he could have played yesterday if we'd played yesterday, but it was just the timing of it when it popped up, and as long as it took the antibiotic to get the infection out. Did it affect us? I thought Sam Fairley ran really hard. I thought he played well. I thought LaTron Weary ran the ball well. So would it have made a difference with Zeke Bang in there? Probably not. I think those other guys handled it well. But we'll look forward to Zeke being back this week.
You also had Todd didn't play, Bobby didn't play. That's 3 starters. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but did that impact you guys?
Well, I thought the best position on the field Saturday was our corners. I thought our corners played really well against big receivers. We played a lot of press man, and I think they handled it well. Kieran Jones stood in there for Todd. If it was a conference game, we probably could have played Todd. He was close to being ready, but it wasn't worth taking the chance. And the same thing with Devin Botwell. Devin had a stinger, a little discomfort in his neck and shoulder where he wasn't 100%, and we knew the size and the strength of those offensive linemen, and we'd much rather have him for the McNeese game. So we expect both those guys to be ready this week.